into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I haven't heard this song in so long, and I'm glad that this episode inspired us to play it. Welcome, everybody, to AFTERBUZZ TV. You are tuning in for episode 7 of Scorpion called Crazy Train, hence the song Runaway Train by... Who's this by?
Soul Asylum.
Thank you, Marissa.
Soul Asylum.
Thank you for being there. I was hoping you were listening to Marissa. It's like, I hope she's going to answer when I ask this. Hi, guys. I'm with you once again. I am Monse Bolanos. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse, M-O-N-S-E Bolanos. Across from me is Susannita.
Hello, I'm Susannah.
Oh,
Excuse me.
she's going through puberty.
Yeah,
It's okay.
a little bit. I'm getting older. My name's Susannah Kim. You can find me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim.
So,
Yes.
here we are to
Yes.
talk about Scorpion.
A lot happened.
A lot happened. Overall, I love the episode. Overall, there were just things about it that I really didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I liked a lot of the relationship stuff that happened. The train stuff.
There were things about the train that I really liked.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff that happened on the train, Ralph's stuff.
God. Ralph was
killer.
great.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
actually had we have lots of people chatting with us.
Yeah, thank you for
joining
tuning
us
in.
live
Yes.
and chatting, joining the talk. Corby one already mentioned, Ralph is especially great this episode, and I totally agree.
Yeah, they let him
good.
really branch out.
He was so involved
Yeah.
in the team, and he was, part of the solution.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Loved
and it's
it.
nice because he's not always part of it.
Yeah.
He gets these episodes every now and then where it's like, but this one was particularly favorite of mine, I think, for Ralph, is because we had another boy right next to him, a normal boy.
A normal boy. Yeah.
One of us.
Yes,
One
exactly.
of you and I.
Right, yeah.
No
Probably
Walter
with the same
O'Brien.
mental capacity as myself and Monty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was nice to like see them together.
Yes.
And also see like the adults around having to deal with Ralph the genius.
Yes.
Like that was all so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll get more into it. But yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And I like that also Paige gave him a little more reign to kind of help out.
Yeah.
She's usually so protective and she doesn't want him to, get too involved because, he can get injured. And obviously, at this position, he had no choice.
Right. It was like,
So
no,
it
you
was-
either help or we die.
Exactly.
So let's get into it. We open up the episode with something that I just was like, seriously? I just
I didn't see that coming. I didn't realize that's what his goal was. I knew he
go
wanted to,
box?
I knew he was learning. I knew he was picking some stuff up from Cabe, but I didn't think that he actually wanted to pursue that.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, like, it was entertaining. I'm
Yeah.
glad it was something really quick and that it didn't take up too much of the episode because I didn't want it to be, but it was funny the way it started where they're all just kind of surrounding, looking at something. You don't exactly know what they're looking at.
Right.
And at first I was like, who are they looking at? Who's down? Who fell? Like something. And you hear Paige say, it's nuttier than squirrel poop. And you're just like, what? Literally, that's what she says. And Ray's there, and Ray's like, no, like, whatever, let's go. And he presses play. Mm-hmm. And then there they go, leading him out for his first fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird seeing him in that position.
No, yeah, 100%.
The only thing that seemed really appropriate were all the jokes kind of jokes, but his little intro that he was...
That was so ridiculous. That was so
good.
long.
More knockout punches and like a frat house
They're
party
like,
or something like that.
yeah.
I
And the
love
rest, like,
that.
seriously?
So quick.
So just keep going.
Zebra.
Just keep going. Yeah, all of that was so funny. How he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to undermine him. I researched him. I know more about him. And Gabe's like, no, like, this is...
That's not how that works.
Yeah, I think he was like, stop and, or, hit him out, knock him out, whatever he was saying.
KO.
Ray gets to be the cut man, gets to squirt water in his mouth. He's really excited about that.
Yeah.
I would be too.
Really part of the team.
Really part of the team. And Toby tries to undermine his opponent, says something about his parents divorcing at like a young age or something.
At 8.
And it does not work out. He gets knocked out. Mama said knock you out.
Yeah, worked out for the other guy. He's like, oh, thank you for the ammunition. I really needed that little
I wasn't really going to beat you. I was just going to kind of fight you. I had a rough day, but now I'm going to knock you out, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He had a swollen face. What did they say? For 12 hours?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why didn't you ice it right away? 12 hours.
For the rest of the episode.
Yeah, but they got liquid nitrogen because it's not like I would just grab a bag of frozen peas.
Yeah.
Jinx.
A little edamame.
A little edamame. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, you would edamame. Yeah, I love that. But anything, just any ice cream. But no, they have liquid nitrogen, of course. And Happy doesn't go to that fight. She's not there.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, we find out why.
Right.
That people distance themselves.
Yeah.
That's the theme of this episode. Don't distance yourself from people you love.
Right.
And she's distancing herself. So she doesn't go to his first fight. And I loved, actually, the best part of this is when Cave starts to bring up the steps of... that Toby's going through, like grief, denial, like all that. That was so funny, and throughout the whole episode.
Doctor Who now?
Yeah. So I love that. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. But I'm kind of I'm okay if Toby and Happy don't get together anymore.
You're over it?
I think
I'm
so.
Still holding out hope.
I don't have hope anymore.
Forever? Really? No.
At least not anytime soon.
Okay, I mean, it'll be gradual, especially now with, like, Walter and Paige getting on the get-go.
And because of that, I think this is going to just stand still.
Yeah, take a little time. But it's still going to happen, for sure. It's going to be like the Ross and Rachel, Season 10, we're going to be here. Monse and I will be here. Scorpion Season 10. And I'm going to be like, remember when? And then, and then finally Quintus will be a thing.
If it takes that long,
it'll happen. I
swear to Lucifer, I can't handle that.
Real quick, we have a little comment from Steven Starr. Love the show. Love the after show with these two lovely ladies.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
And let's go to Happy. I mean, we're already on Toby. Let's talk about Happy.
And jump into the end.
What are you doing, Happy? Why?
Did not expect that at all. At all. I totally thought they were going to go to the club, maybe a little confrontation, it's a little awkward, but no, I did not see stand-up comedy coming.
I didn't even see it not being a romantic relationship. Just that alone. I was like that alone.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Me too.
Yeah, so happy. But yeah, you're right. That was a surprise.
I was shocked about that, and then shocked about the choice of comedy for Happy.
Yeah.
And then
she had one fan.
She was awful.
Yeah.
And Chet, you're awful for a teacher. Yeah. Because you were funny. Like, what he was saying was funny.
Right.
He brought up his daughter, and then he was like, thank you for laughing at my daughter's, like, whatever ugliness, because he was saying she looked like him or something.
Freddie
you
Mercury.
Were funny. Yes, you were funny. You even said, if she's not funny, I don't know her. She was awful. Why are you letting her go on stage?
She needs her money back.
Seriously. But Sylvester loved it.
Yeah.
Sylvester.
Yeah, he had a great laugh.
Yeah. There was a joke I wrote down because it was just like, I can't. She was like, knock, knock. And nobody even responded after her.
Yeah, it was Matthew. Matthew couldn't do it unless he had an IQ of
104 something. So I was like, oh, but I Sylvester enjoyed it. So
I think I might have laughed. Like, maybe like... I probably would have laughed at the first joke 5 jokes in. Because I'd be like, oh, I get it. Because you just I got the first one. But yeah.
It is true.
Yeah.
You're right. They were too quick for us. Because I really had to be like, oh, that's a good one. Let me think about this knock joke you just said.
But it is sweet. I like, how they tied it back into the whole, Toby having a realization like, oh, she's doing this subconsciously because of me, sort of, know? And
doing the same thing
realizing what he's doing is subconsciously actually for her,
Right.
So I like that little realization he had.
But he also says, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, no. He didn't say he's done. He just said that he's not going to pursue her. He's going to let her grow her little seed or whatever into a mighty love oak. It could happen.
So
season 10, Mighty Love Oak will be in bloom.
Season 10.
Bloom.
Scorpion, writers of Scorpion, if you leave this out till season 10. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be here. It's way too long. It's way too long. I don't see it happening.
No,
just
eventually.
At
At least not right now. Yeah, not right now, but eventually.
for a while.
Sure.
A while. Well, in this episode, we also learn a little bit more about Ray.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice to see.
Yeah, we finally got the story that we kind of got hints of before
Little by
with the
little.
little medallion that Paige found.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of like made us wonder. We found out, I mean, we already knew he was a firefighter, but
Right.
now we know like the whole story, and it was sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. He wanted to
Yeah.
take Walter to the beach, and Walter's like, no, basically. I'm not going to go sit.
I'm not a
and-
beach guy.
I'm not a beach guy. And Walter sees the photo at the beginning of the episode, and he completely dismisses him.
Right.
Which is not like Ray at all. Ray is so buddy-buddy. But then at the end, after the whole train thing that we'll talk about, Ray's like, you know, they have this heart-to-heart where he's like, you can't push people away that you love. Like, you can't distance yourself from people that you love.
Lesson of the day.
Lesson of the day.
Yeah.
And, you know, he asks, is this a personal thing? Like, is this about the photo I saw and the medal I saw earlier? And we finally get the story. It's sad. So
It's sad.
his partner, who he joined it's not the force, but he joined the force.
The fire, I want to say academy. Fire department, definitely, eventually.
The fire-
academy?
yes.
Do you go to academy first?
Where they joined together.
They definitely said something about the same engine.
All that stuff.
So,
they
good
had a
friend.
call. Yes, they had a call a few years ago, and it was a big one.
5-alarm,
A
yeah.
5-alarm, exactly. And he says, I got a lot of smoke in my lungs, but then I was able to...
Yeah, and so it meant, like, I guess he blames himself, of course.
yeah.
Which we know wasn't really his fault, but
Because
he
they
blames
both
himself.
passed out. He says that. He's like, I woke up in a hospital.
Right.
So it's like, dude, it's not like you walked out of there.
Right.
You went down too.
Yeah.
You know?
I kind of like the whole story though. It wasn't only just about us getting to know Ray, but also they turned it into a story because it wasn't about him losing his friend or even about the
Right.
You know, I mean, it was about the medallion because he ended up holding on to it when he shouldn't have. I mean, sort
year,
of, yeah,
yeah.
because he was supposed to give it to the wife of his friend,
Yeah.
who took him in at
Who
a
was
time when he
adopted
needed
him,
and
he
yeah,
said.
exactly. Like, there's so much history there, and for them to take that and have that be a lesson for Walter, which I guess rang true with him because, he sort of had a change of heart when he was talking to Cave at the end. So,
Right.
yeah. I liked that. Had a double use.
Double.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
double
you go.
whammy
Yeah,
for one
there you go.
storyline. Yeah, I agree. It was more than what I thought we were gonna get.
Exactly.
100%. 100%. It was much more in depth, and it was so funny because every single time, if you notice, Ray is on camera. The background music is very upbeat, very goofy, very lively.
Yeah,
and then
this was
the
the only
minute he asks, wait, is this a personal thing? Is it about the music changed in the background?
Yeah.
And he changed.
Yeah.
Like the actor just changed, It was so nice to see.
Yeah. It was a good moment.
It was good. It was good. But now let's talk about the big problem that they always have. Or the 5 problems. Because it's never one. It's always problem after problem after problem.
Right.
But it's a Saturday. Paige and Ralph are headed to a museum. And they're on the train. And Ralph has been partnered up with this sporty boy.
Kid that doesn't get him.
A jock in the making.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they're so
exactly.
little. Literally a jock in the making, And even the little boy goes over and is like, Mom, like, why do I have to be partners with him? Like, it's
Right.
so awful for Ralph.
Right.
And Paige having to listen and see that.
Right. And not just that, but it's funny because, like, we see the sort of, like, like grade school stuff between, Ralph and the kid, but also sort of between Paige and the mom, too.
Yeah.
Grade school stuff, mom's all like, hey, my kid's in scouts. What does
Yeah.
your kid do? Oh, well, we actually also do sport. Your kid doesn't do sports? Oh, like I was like, oh man, we got grade school stuff for
So
here.
Susannah liked that.
Yeah,
that
that was
actress.
awesome. Man,
She's
but my
just-
favorite line was when Catherine, because she goes, Ralph is more of an indoor cat.
Yeah, yeah, so
An
indoor
funny.
cat. That was very cute. Yeah,
so cute.
and the cat, like, such a perfect way to, if you had to describe him
Right.
in like an animal form, a cat
He's
very.
very go out and play. He's
Yeah,
just,
he's just
loved it.
just wants to hang out. But they're instantly there's a problem because they're about to get off on their stop. Ralph has his big ol' telescope thing.
telescope.
And Paige is like, okay, put that away because we're about to get off. Here's our stop. That they don't stop. And then it speeds up. And it's interesting because Ralph is like staring off into the distance.
Yeah.
Almost like if he was like, I don't know, telepathically doing something, like the way he was looking. Yes, I was just like, are we about to find out he's more than a genius? Like just the way.
But he's like, Mom, actually, I'm making this happen.
Yes, I was like, am I watching Scorpion? It just looked different, like the way he was looking.
No, it seemed like he was like counting or like measuring how fast they were going by.
And he was trying to see the speed, and he says we're going like 75 miles an hour and gaining speed.
Something's wrong.
Right. So of course we gotta get Scorpion involved, and that's when she calls Walter, who is at the garage. Cave's about to leave. Like everyone's just hanging out. It's a Saturday. Yeah, we're not supposed to be working. Saturday, day off. And no, they immediately think it's just a glitch, but they want to make sure it's not. So Cave is trying to get a hold of the SoCal Department of Transportation, is what they were dealing with, and so they're just like, hey, you have a glitch in the system, but they already know that this train is going at this speed, but they don't know why. They don't have any answers. Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. I really enjoyed when in this scene, in this moment, when they're on the phone and like Walter's on the computer and Happy mentions something about can't, and then Cave's like, there's no can't in Scorpion, and they all look at him and she's like, can't is the height difference between the outside curve and whatever else she said. It was something very complicated. I believed her. I thought that was really cute. Yeah. It's the way that they cut the scenes it's so well done. Like the comedy is so subtle.
They always slip in little bits of comedy, even though it's like high stress.
Right. But it's so well done. It's not like it's totally believable. It's just so subtle, totally believable, and it's all in the editing, because it's not. Sometimes it's not even what they say. Right. It's just the way it's edited. How they cut it. So I appreciate that. Yes. But yeah, there's no glitch. They can't seem to control it, and there's a turn coming up, like 25 miles away. And going at the speed,
that's going to derail the train.
It's going to derail the train. And there begins problem number 2. Right. Because we got like 7. I was like, what's going on here? They're running to the burger joint to get what? When they were running? Right. I was like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, because they needed to like grease the tracks, I guess.
Hoping so that the speed would slow down, because the wheels.
On top of them making the balance of the train all to one side. Yeah. Correct. Which I loved. This is where Ralph kind of came in a little bit more too. I loved this part where Ralph starts talking to the construction guy. Yes. That was such a great little moment where he kind of explains it to him. And I was like, man, that's so awesome, because we know that Ralph's a genius, obviously, but we see that he has a little bit of a Paige in him, too. Yeah. Because that's totally Paige, being able to just, like, calmly explain something to someone logically. And he's like, hey, you understand this, and just getting him to, like, understand and calming him down a little bit.
In his terminology, in his world.
Exactly. It was so well done. I was like, oh, a little bit of Paige and Ralph. Yeah. So cute.
And he also, I'm glad you mentioned this, at the same time, he also makes a PA system. Yes. Because they have to get everyone to shift to one side of the train so that they stay alive, because they're all about to die.
So he makes it with earbuds and a phone. Cash.
And that woman, I know, he looks at the woman, your favorite for the show. And
he's like, sorry. Take the insulation out of your earbuds.
She's like, it's okay.
Not a problem.
Yeah. She's like, it's fine. It's okay. But yeah, it's so good. Ralph, so freaking good in this episode. Everything that they allowed him to do. All right, so the grease does help. Yes. Walter and Happy are like running down the track with buckets of grease that they got from this burger joint.
Or not Krusty Burger.
Krusty Burger Simpsons over here.
It's
all right. Yeah, it's all right. One of the burger places. Yeah. And they're like running down the track, and they spread the grease, and you see everyone go to one side of the train, and it works.
They're all surprised it works.
Yeah, everyone. I know, they all say that. They're like, I can't believe it worked. I can't believe it worked. Okay, guys. So you were very shocked. We get it. That scene as they drive by Walter and Happy, and Walter is like reaching out for Paige.
I liked that.
I like that too. Even though Paige, nothing. She was just holding on to the
But I mean,
pole.
yeah. But yes. But that's how it would be, though. It would have been totally in her mind's like, am I actually seeing this? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was good. Yeah. I was like, oh. And then
they had a couple moments like that.
Yeah. So that was nice to see him, not her. Right. Reach out. Exactly. And he looked worried. He was like, oh my God, there she goes, type of thing.
It was a cute moment.
And at the same time, Happy sees the train, and since they're geniuses, in that split second, she's like, I know the train. I can tell you where the box is, so that you can stop the train and we can control it manually. And she tells Paige where to go. She finds this box, but before she can find the box, she needs Ralph's help. Ralph has to open the door.
Yeah.
The door's locked, or it's the system. And he says,
I love this.
that it's like an automated door, and he has to create a signal for it to open. So he grabs like the battery from the construction worker's little box,
stud finder.
yeah, and some wire. He even has a little boy hold this, gives him the battery. And at this point is when Paige, like you said, she kind of let him, gave him a little leeway. 'Cause she's like, you want to fill me in here? Like, she didn't say stop. She didn't say don't do that. She's like, just tell me what you're doing to open this electric door, is what they were calling it. So they get it open, and there's
her line. She's like, that's why he can't do scouts, sweetheart.
yeah, that's why he doesn't do scouts.
Clearly he's got other stuff to do, like saving lives, you know?
Yeah, figuring
Build
out
flyers another day.
yeah, quantum physics, I don't know, a bunch of good stuff. And she opens the box, and they tell her, "I'll just move the switch." There's no switch. And that's when you find out.
That's when they realize this is like kind of sabotage. Or
yes, like this was done by somebody. With some reason behind it. And that right there, guys, was 14 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
All that, no commercials.
Right, yeah.
Just all the way through, and then it was like, we just got started.
Yeah, we always get so much action right away with Scorpion. I like that,
Me
though.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. They waste no time.
Exactly.
Like,
sometimes you have shows and you don't even get anything, and then they're already on a commercial. I'm like, really?
right?
Yeah.
And then
this
you
stuff is
don't want to
good.
come back. But this one, it's like, wow. And I wrote it down because I couldn't believe how long it was till I had seen a commercial with so much action, you know? Like, it was ridiculous. But 14 minutes. So they originally think it's terrorism. I was like, there's no way this is terrorism.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is like something much more, or not much more, but like something more narrow, more like specific. Like
exactly.
a target. There was a target. Exactly. And even Toby's like, no, this is not. They would have already killed everybody, type of thing. But they do get Homeland involved because actually Homeland gives them the power because they do think it's terrorism. So they want them to fix it as fast. They kind of give them the power to take over this case. All the other trains have stopped, and they don't understand why.
Or they're saying like they
recall
the trains, back to their stations.
Back to the station.
As a safety protocol or something.
Right. But
which makes sense, I guess.
I guess. And they figure out that the train, the one that's running, where it runs through. So like maybe like it's going through something. And Happy's like, there's nothing under there except rats and more rats. Like, it's got to be more. They think about the LAX.
Right.
Los Angeles airport. One of the biggest airports, I think, and probably has like one of the most high security airports, I would assume. And they think, okay, that's what it is. So they head over, Cabe, Toby, and Happy, I believe is what them, head over to LAX to see if that's true. And I love the line as they're leaving the garage. All Cabe says is like, Happy, and she's like, yes, I know, I drive crazy. Just give me the keys. And I was like, yes, she does drive a little crazy.
Yeah, we've had her driving in like most of the episodes this season.
Yeah, she does take control.
Yeah, which actually I made a note later. I mean, I mean, we get to it later, but man, she's been playing such large roles in a lot of these like solutions, you know, like she's had such big roles, you know, like her jumping down the chute or her doing this or, you know, I feel like she's been playing such big parts in saving the day. Yeah. And she doesn't get a lot of credit, I feel like.
Nah, maybe not.
Right? You know? I don't know.
But I feel like in the last episode, she kind of said that. She made comments of like, okay, I did this. Right. You know, she'll make comments about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I also think it's in the
such
character.
a badass.
She's
like,
exactly, but
all
that's
these
her
other guys,
character.
and she's such the best. You know, she's
it's not
the
Sylvester.
Best. I love it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all have their strengths. She has to do the action stuff.
Yeah.
She has to do the stunt work for her team. So they find a hole in the ground in one of the rooms of the LAX, and it's a heist. They figure it out, so they all jump in. This underground tunnel, and they see a guy just running. I was like, this is too easy.
I was like, really, man? You're still there?
Yeah.
Like,
go.
What you doing there, right?
Yeah. Even though the two security guards did say somebody was just here 20 minutes ago. Did he say?
But
so I guess, but you were so close.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you're doing, but if you're doing a heist and you're a pro, like you say you are, right? I thought you were a pro. Come on now. So, I love because he's running.
And he like stumbles.
And he stumbles,
like,
falls in the water. And then Happy's like, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Now that he's full of water, he can get shocked or like electrocuted. So she drops a wrench on the track. And it totally gets him.
Totally works.
And he's not dead at all. He's just complete shock. Because Toby feels his pulse and everything. Yeah. And they realize that the heist is for $50 million of British gold coins. That's what they're trying to steal. Walter decides that because they can't control, he's not controlling the train. The guy that has the coins that they found, he's not controlling it. He's got a counterpart, and they don't know where he's at. So Walter's like, I have to get on the train. I was gonna say plane. I have to get on the train and like link my computer, and then I can control it. It's like, how are you gonna get on this? I don't know why I'm saying plane. How are you gonna get on this train, Walter, when it's going like 80 plus miles an hour?
Exactly.
And he says with a lot of caution.
Yeah.
Walter, shut up. Like, if I was Cabe, I would have slapped him at that point. I'd be like, boy, don't play stupid and handsome with me. What are you doing? Like, don't do that.
Oh gosh.
So he has to get in. And
this is where it kind of lost you a little bit.
This is where I was like, all right,
was a little
so I'm going to walk
this.
away, go get a glass of water.
Upset.
When I say water, I mean tequila, obviously, because I was like, this is ridiculous. He runs, like, right towards the plane, or right towards the train. I'm so sorry. Right towards the train. And then, like, leaps a ridiculous jump, and then hangs on for dear life.
To, like, a bar.
Right. Because you could do
catch
this.
That bar?
How? Because you
saw that bar.
If it was, like, Happy, I'd be like, that's more believable. But you, Walter O'Brien? No. No.
And then hanging on the way he was, flapping in the wind, chit-chatting. They were just having a convo.
And Sylvester's like, you have 25 seconds before you hit a box come in. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Right? And they're still talking. I was like, 5. 4. I'm just counting. I'm just, man.
So he's gonna die.
Right?
So this is where we lose Walter.
God.
But no, of course not. Ralph does ask for something to pierce the glass. But it's like, Ralph, didn't you just see him running? Why didn't you pierce the glass hours ago?
Right, yeah.
Like, you saw him running.
Right?
You
Let
even
him in.
said.
Well, I guess maybe he thought he was going to be able to get in because the door wasn't working or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess. Okay, we'll give it. I'll let it slide then, Ralph. All right. So he's hanging on for dear life to the side of the train, like ridiculous. Talking to Paige about, weather and gas prices, and he's like, let me in, I'm about to die, I have 25 seconds. They break the window with Ralph's telescope. Right? And he gets in.
Yeah.
Yay. I was so not a fan of that scene.
Yeah.
For those of you tuning in, were you fans of that scene?
I have a comment. Veneer, he said, gotta love TV magic. Period.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, we already decided that Scorpion definitely takes full advantage of the suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
They're going to take every little bit of suspension of disbelief you have, and they're going to take advantage of it and be like, all right, just pretend like the world's ending,
Yeah.
As much as you can. So, give it to them.
All right, fine. I'll give it to you. Like, the rest of it, I was back in it. This was just too much for me.
Yeah.
It was a little too much. Just a smidge.
I mean, even from the get-go, what are you guys doing on the subway? Ain't nobody take the subway with their kids in LA?
In LA? That's true.
Already unbelievable. Already, you lost me. That's already not LA. Sorry.
That is very, very true.
Already,
Yeah. It's like, no, this isn't New York. This is not right.
Yeah.
But he gets in and he tells Ralph that they need to create a firewall so that they can stop that outsider from controlling it.
Right.
So he's in there, but he's got to decode some stuff. And they're trying to find out who that guy that's controlling the train is. So Cabe interrogates the guy that they did catch in the tunnel, and he doesn't want to give him any information. And Toby's like, I got this. Let me handle this. Grabs a box and is like, we're gonna put him in the box, and the guy's gonna think like it's a psychological thing.
Exactly.
So they make him think they're driving somewhere. They have him in the trunk of the car, and they're like moving the car. And they're like whispering, like, no, this is what we're gonna do. And then he's gonna think he's being buried alive, and he'll spill everything out, because he does pretty much tell Cabe. The guy's like, I've done this hundreds of times.
Right.
If I don't say anything, I get jail for whatever he said, 7-9 years, and then I come out and they give me a lot of money. Why would I tell you?
Yeah.
Like, so I would be like, yes, Toby, tell me what to do, in this situation. So they make him think they're in the car. They get the trunk out.
Yeah.
And he like grabs Cabe grabs two shovels and makes the sound.
And here's those.
And then
Toby's got his cereal
as dirt and starts like
just
throwing
pouring cereal on there.
And the guy freaks out for real.
Buried alive by Bran.
By
Super
right,
Bran.
in a desert. He tells her, "You're in a deserted just."
And he said, "Yeah, Angeles Forest."
Yes, yes, that's what it is. And they get the info. He gives them the name, gives them the exact location where the guy is, so they head to that.
Still leave him.
Still leave him in the box.
Yeah.
So you think, okay, they're going to get it done. Yay. Of course not, because then they throw you another problem. And Sylvester tells us that the train is coming up on a split. And because the Southern California Department of Transportation had already recalled all the trains, it would take another 20 minutes to kind of restart the system.
Exactly.
And change the track.
Which is already too long.
Which is already too long because they're about... I don't remember what he said, but it's not seconds, but it's also not 20 minutes, you know? And the only other option is to hit the switch as they're coming up on the split so that the track turns
Manually.
and they go into the track that will keep them alive, because the other track they're going to hit into concrete is what they say. So Paige constructs this giant pole.
Yeah,
You know,
and
like
she
in
jumps
Friends,
on it.
when they want to stick, when they are trying to wake up the
giant
ugly naked
poking
guy
stick.
from
Yeah.
across the building. Literally like that. But
Right,
not out of
instead
chopsticks.
Yeah.
She uses
She has
a
a cane
cane
and a crutch and
umbrella, I
a bunch
think,
of stuff.
and she uses a scarf and makes this giant
but
thing.
she jumped on MacGyvering that together, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, because she isn't usually the one to be like, oh, I need to be the one to like think of something or like craft something together.
Yeah.
You know, there's usually someone else there to help her out, and she's
Right.
kind of doing more of the social stuff. This time she was really involved in like crafting and, you know, stuff that we
Right.
usually see like Happy doing, or, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
She had to be, because she was the one that was in the situation, and then Walter ended up being there too. But like, yeah, she had to step up.
Yeah,
she knew
even
it.
busted out a little logic to Walter later.
Yeah,
you know?
and threw it in his face.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to decode, I have to do this. Even though it
Exactly.
requires me to stand on the edge of a 85-mile moving train and looking like a badass. Like, you look great, girl.
Oh, yeah.
But here I was just like,
Until you dropped it,
you
I was
would have
like,
fallen.
yeah.
You had no balance.
Right?
From the beginning. You had no balance. There was no hope in
man.
you getting it. And even Happy's like, you're not going to be able to do it. She's like, no, I can do it. I can see it. It's just like a light switch, Sylvester tells her. And she drops it because the train kind of like does like a
there's a little
bump or
turbulence.
something. So she drops it. It's like, were you even holding on to that?
Yeah, right.
I don't understand.
So there goes that. Now what, Paige?
no.
Now what, Paige?
Yeah, and actually, I give credit in this episode a lot to Catherine McPhee. There was a lot to a range of like fear and like anger, but when she drops that stick, her reaction, her like scream, I was like, yeah, I believed it. Like the terror, because she was like, that's it. Like we're all about to freaking die,
Right.
Because I dropped
And
this
it's my
pole.
fault.
And
Right,
I
exactly.
dropped this pole. That was the only opportunity, and we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And when she screamed as she dropped it, I was like, yes, girl, it is your fault. You should scream like that. But they get plan B, the backup plan, because it cuts right to a commercial as soon as like she drops it, and she's like, like, and you don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Cabe is over with Toby, and they found the guy, but they still like they're trying to control the computer. It's not gonna help them with the track, with the fact that they still need to move tracks.
Right.
So what is plan B that they didn't even know existed?
Yeah.
Happy.
Running
Running
saves the day.
Seriously,
Again,
speed of
that's
light.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're killing it. She's killing it.
Yeah.
She's working it. Man.
You go, girl.
Saving the day.
Yeah, you go, girl. Just quit.
Right? Because they would have died.
Your comedy, though.
They would have died. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have died.
Yeah.
Yes, but she's like running, like bullet.
Yeah, and she and for her to also think of that from the get go,
Yes.
to know that's not gonna work probably.
Yeah.
So you know, here's
me
a backup
start
plan.
running.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she
For
didn't
her to
tell
think of
anybody.
it. Exactly, like she saved the day. That wasn't Walter's idea. He didn't
No.
go tell her to go make something.
Yeah.
she just straight up went and saved the day. I loved it.
Good job. Running down. I thought that. Yeah, I loved it. Running
Credit.
down, sprinting,
Credit.
and like seconds, she hits the latch or the whatever, the switch that she needs to hit, and you see the track turn, and there goes the train. and she like is on the ground and she's like, I told you it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Like she just knew it.
Yeah.
She knew it.
You know, we have a comment from Philip Baker in our live chat. Said, did anyone else notice that Paige was aiming towards the left side of the door, but the switch was on the right side?
She had no balance. She had no balance from the beginning. I didn't notice that. Oh, I'm sad. I didn't. Good catch.
Yeah.
She had heels
but
on.
she tried, you know.
She made the
We'll give
contraption
her
in the
a-
first place.
We'll give her a B for effort, right?
Yeah.
Like,
We'll give her a B for effort. Yeah. Now, we think that's it. We think, oh, we saved the day. Happy did it. It's the end. No, there's still 20 minutes left of the episode.
Yeah.
What is the next problem that we have? The train, they can't get it to slow down, and it's coming to a...
yeah, they still can't get it to stop.
They still can't get it to stop.
So they realize the only way to do that is to separate the cars.
Right. And they convince everyone to move to one car. And Walter says a little bit of a fib,
Yeah.
a little bit of a lie to Ralph.
Yeah.
And tells him, this is what's going to happen. You're going to move to this car. There's going to be something you have to turn, switch, whatever. Then I'm going to have 10 seconds to do it on this side, and then I'll run back, and it'll be perfect.
Exactly.
And they separate. Walter goes back to the
Such a
front
good
car.
moment.
I
Such
know.
a good moment.
To the front car, and Ralph says, Mom, there's no whatever it is he's looking for. There's no blah, blah, blah in here. And she's like, what? And she turns around, and then she just sees Walter standing there, already in the next car.
Even just like that second where he's
Just standing there?
No, like when Paige and Ralph leave that car,
Yeah.
and just that moment where like Walter's like kind of reaching out his hand for like just an extra second.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Right? We don't get a lot of those moments with Scorpion.
No, we
That
don't,
was
because it's
so
always
good.
so high action packed.
Exactly.
We
And
don't get
quick
simplicity.
and whatever. But man, just for that second, they slowed it down, and it was so sweet.
Yeah, but just even the minute she turns and he's just looking at her with the
Yeah.
frame of the window.
Yeah, and you can see on his face that he already knew.
He already knew.
He had already made this decision.
He knew. Like, he completely lied
Yeah,
on
and knew that
purpose.
Paige was going to be upset too. You
Yes.
could see that he looked a little guilty too.
Yeah, and then Paige, when she
good.
bangs the window,
Yes.
she's like, Walter, no!
Yes.
And then I literally was like,
So
don't do it.
good.
Like, I was gonna cry. I felt it. I felt misty. And I was just, I couldn't.
good.
So good. I
love
was
that
there.
scene.
And I was like, well, I know Walter's not going to die. Like, I know that.
Right.
Because of the show.
Right.
But,
I also, like, for a second, I was kind of like, why isn't Ralph doing anything? You know, why isn't
Yeah.
Ralph, like, freaking out? Or why isn't he so upset? But I kind of thought about it, like, I guess that makes sense. You
Yeah.
know, he would kind of be, like, shutting down maybe, you know, socially. He wouldn't have this huge expression or reaction.
Right.
So
Or
I like that.
would he think greater good? Or would he
Right.
think logical?
Right, exactly. Is he on Walter's?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I thought the same thing too. I was like,
understanding,
they didn't show him at all. But at the same time, he might react like you, where he shuts down, like you said, or he might just be like, greater good.
Yeah,
That's-
but I did notice that because when Walter was talking to, he was talking to someone on the mic or whatever, and he said guaranteed life for Paige and Ralph.
I know.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Paige and Ralph. He didn't say all these other people on the train. He
No.
didn't say, you know,
No.
whatever. He said Paige and Ralph, not the greater good.
It's
that was
very
straight up
true.
for these two people. I thought that was so sweet
Yeah.
and like purposely written, you know? Like, you know, they had to have done that on purpose. Like,
So good. I know. I was
So
like,
sweet.
man, aside from you diving like a crazy person, this
Yeah.
is a real good episode. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Good stuff.
And they separate. And you just, it's just such a tough moment to see when he
hook.
lifts.
Yeah. That was so good. That was really good.
So good. So good. And so the idea is that he's still on the powertrain. So he's still going at the same speed, but he's let go of everybody else. So they're automatically going to slow down. Nothing's pulling them.
Right.
But he's coming into, that's what it was. I
And
couldn't
that one's gonna
remember.
crash.
A narrow
Right.
area that will crash because of the speed he's going
Right.
at. And there's nothing they can do. Sylvester's like, no, this is like a guaranteed death type of thing. And he has not a long time. And they're all, Cabe, not Sylvester's still at the garage, but Cabe, Happy, and Toby are kind of waiting where the train will derail or
Right.
crash. They're already there. And Walter's like, oh, the cord that you pull when you want to make a stop.
The brake cord, yeah, something like that, uh-huh.
And she's like, if you pull that, like, that's going to be worse. You can't just emergency stop this, because I think
Yeah.
that's what it would have done. it's not gonna work. And he's like, no, I'm gonna use it to get out.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And what he does is he gets to like the emergency exit of the train on the ceiling, and he uses this cord to hang over a tube that he just then hangs from, so he gets out of the train
right before it crashes.
Right. I'm glad I didn't see it, because I would be like, this is not believable. So I'm glad you didn't show that to me.
Yeah.
But I know right when he was hanging, I was like, I see what he did. Like, I
it made
understood.
sense logically afterwards. But definitely,
The only thing, and if the train was going 50 miles an hour, I'd be like, yeah. But for me, you going almost 90 miles an hour, for you to be able to put that cord so quickly over a tube and grab it and get out all at the same time, that's where you're killing. If it was going a little slower, I'd be like, yes. Yeah, but we didn't say it, so it's fine. So he's there, he's hanging, and they save him, all good. We head back to the garage, like we do every episode, and we get such a tender moment, because we already talked about Ray, because this is when the whole Ray and Walter happen, when he does get back. We talk about that, but I missed a huge part. Before they head back to the garage, Paige walks over to Walter at the train still, and slaps him, and says, don't ever do that to me again, and walks away and grabs Ralph, and it's like, let's go, and keeps going. Yeah. Good moment. I wish she would have. I was telling Susannah this earlier. I just wish that the slap would have been better. It's like, I'm sure you don't really want to hit your man. I understand that. Right. But like, make it like it should have been shot better.
Especially from that angle. I feel like it would have been easier.
Yeah. Like, just do it. Go big or go home when it comes to that. Like, don't half-ass it. But I wanted. That was great. I love it. When they get back to the garage, they talk. He's like, how's Ralph doing? Oh, great. And Jeremy, I think is the name of the little boy, wants to hang out. So it's great.
Really?
I think it was Jeremy, the little boy in the train.
Why did I say Tyler?
Maybe. Whatever. Jeremy, little Tyler, boy Scout, jock in training. I don't know. That one, wants to hang out with Ralph. So cute. So adorable, so cute. And then comes up of the slap. Yeah. And she says she's sorry. Yes. And he's like, I know, I'm sure you didn't mean to hit me. And she's like,
no, I meant it.
I meant to hit you, boy. Because you always talk about the greater good, but I need you to be selfish. Exactly. I need you. Do you see that little boy? You know how much you mean to him. And then she into the team. And then she struggles out. She struggles, but then she says, and what you mean to me. Yeah. And it's like, I was like, they're going to kiss. It was so good. He's going to lean in. Yes. It's going to happen. And then Cabe walked in.
Gosh, Cabe.
And I was like, I'm done. Cabe. I never want to see this show again.
Cabe.
Why do you suck, Cabe?
Cabe. I know you felt that. I know you felt the tension. It felt awkward.
It felt super. There. And you just stood there.
Yeah.
Get out. Leave. Say my bad and walk away.
Don't you like Walter?
Seriously.
You know what they call that, right? A solid lock? God, Cabe.
What you doing? Why did you do that?
Yeah, he did not have his boys back.
I know. But he ends up talking to his boy later on.
Yeah. I guess he was thinking priorities. You know, they need to get down, prevent a potential whatever
problem with Chet and Toby when they went to the comedy club. But that whole talk, it ended on the note that Walter says, I don't see much distance happening between Paige and I anymore. Right. Because Cabe apologizes. He's like, I think I interrupted a moment. Right. And then he's like, we were just talking. And he's like, no, I've interrupted talking. I interrupted a moment. Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, well, you know, I don't see much distance happening between Paige and I. And I was like, yes! Yay. And there was like a little smile. Yeah. A little smile. Yeah. Now we have to wrap up in like 90 seconds or so. So let's do a super quick prediction. Super quick. All right. Well, coming off of that,
and obviously. Your AFTERBUZZ TV.
Definitely don't think they're going to get together.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think next episode we're gonna get a lot of Walter and Paige.
A lot,
yeah.
Like a kiss.
Yeah, like a kiss, and also just like them discussing what's going on. You know, I think it's gonna be very relationship oriented. I think.
Okay,
I'm hoping.
No Quintus, no Tappy for a while.
Not for right now.
All right,
not
I
for
agree.
This second.
I agree with that. I agree. Will we see Megan?
Ooh, good question. Maybe.
We're episode 7, and how many episodes? We got like 5, maybe more. 5 or 6.
5? This thing goes on till like March.
It's 11 episodes.
Yeah.
So we got 4 more. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, Megan's got to be.
I say Megan in the next episode. And you think we're gonna see her, or do you think we're gonna say bye to her? We're gonna see her, and then in a few episodes say bye to her.
Oh gosh,
but
painful.
that's what I say.
Ouch, Monse.
That's what I'm saying. Is that it? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening, watching, rating, commenting. We really appreciate it. We love reading the comments. We are in the works of getting another special guest in the studio. I will say that it is in the works. Soon as we have it verified, we will tweet it out to you guys. Susannah, where can they tweet you?
Please, you can tweet me at Susannah_Kim and follow me on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos. Monse spelled Monse. You can catch Susannah on Survivor here at AfterBuzz TV. You can catch both of us on Wicked City, which we will be doing next.
Live.
The new
Just a few
ABC
minutes.
dark Bonnie and Clyde type of show. You can also catch me on Gotham. But tweet us, rate us 5 stars, leave us comments, let us know what you think, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.